We're at the Liverpool station, and I just don't do very well in the mornings, so I made us late again to this tour, and that's super fun. I love streets like this because they're so inherently different than anything in Utah. They're just so small and everything's smashed together. They had to use every bit of space back then, I guess.
It's pretty unique as well. I think, you know, in London, you're seeing a lot of beautiful paintings, you know, aesthetically very, very pleasing. But one thing you're not seeing, which personally for me I think is a bit of a shame, is much artwork that's actually trying to engage with that audience and it's trying to make people think. I think we're losing that, because in the past, you know, that was one of the amazing things in street. You think of banks, we say the true both. We had fun, but we also had something real and hard to say. And I think one of the issues is more and more artists, particularly here in London, they are realising that aesthetically that is more Instagram friendly than actually creating something that actually has something to say. Big Birds, I think it's safe to say, is probably the most famous piece in the area. And as I said, an exception to that rule talked about in terms of evolution. It's been there for over 4.5 years. Painted by an artist called Roa. He is from Belgium, and he's been, in my opinion, the most prolific street artist in the world over the last 5 or 6 years. Like Jonesy, illegal. No, which way is this guy going? Is he going straight on? You know, really, really simple. But as is a lot of the time, the simple stuff is the best stuff. And you know, most of the artwork you're seeing is based in this part of London. With Clet's work, you'll see it all over London, all over. So make sure to keep an eye out for it. And even as we go around today, there's more of them in the parts. But yeah, this one's worth pointing out. It's a great piece, but more than that, it's quite a rarity around here. And I say that because it's the work of a girl. You know, unfortunately, what you've got here is a hugely, hugely male-dominated art form. I'm not overly sure why that is. So it's important to realise that there are girls, and it does seem that every year more and more are coming out and doing their thing, though Bastadilia, as she calls herself, she's quite the pioneer. You know, she's been going for a long, long time. She's from South America, and you know, you see the you know, the bright colours. You know, you think of South America, you think of colour. And you really do tend to find that based from different places around the world, we have certain styles and certain techniques. And we really are lucky that we get to see all of those in this one little concentrated part of London. There are very few places around the world where you get to see such variety in terms of the artwork.
Coolest tour. It's Marie's favorite ever. You can tell by her smile. You get like a different feel for London, and it's pretty cool.
Oh, thank you. No, this is I paint under my name, or my real name, believe it or not, actually, of Ben Slow. It's a portrait, as you can see bottom left there, of a fellow called Charlie Burns. Now, Charlie was a true extender in every sense of the word, and unfortunately he passed away a couple of years ago at the age of 96.
Wow.
I was saying Charlie, the man there, died a couple of years ago at the age of 96, but he spent his entire life in this part of London. You know, he was a true extender in every sense of the word. Not only did he do a huge amount for the local community, at one point Charlie pretty much owned all of Bacon Street. And very importantly, what we've still got is a family who only run out of a couple of the units here, basically. So, you know, going back to what I said very briefly earlier about just creating a piece of artwork that has a little bit more depth to it and a little bit more of a tie to the area. Now, I really do see it as a very privileged platform. You know, you've got to think of just around here how many people are seeing your work on a daily basis. So why not do something that, you know, has a little bit more behind it? So I know Alexis Diaz, he's from Puerto Rico. In my opinion, one of the most exciting street artists in the world right now. Never been near a spray can in his life. You know, he is classically trained. He's come through art school, and that is something we're seeing more and more of. You know, artists that are coming out of art school and turning to the streets. This is all done with Indian ink and pretty much the smallest paintbrush you've ever seen. Cross-hatching. It surprises me actually how many people think of graffiti to be a modern thing. You know, in all honesty, it is anything but. It's tens of thousands of years old. It's the same thing as, you know, cave drawings. You know, leaving your mark. It's nothing new. In terms of how we know it now, though, you know, you are talking its roots come out of New York in the 1970s. I'm sure some of you have seen pictures of like subway systems and things. That letter-based, that sort of identity-based sort of art form. Not great examples, but the sort of stuff that you're seeing over there. That's the sort of stuff I'm talking about. very importantly, one of the real differences between the two, between graffiti and street art, is that street art is done for the likes of you and me. Street art is in many ways about beautification, graphism. Graffiti is a true underground movement. It's for other graffiti writers. It's about identity. It's about respect. And in honesty, it doesn't have a very good reputation. What you hear from the general public generally is vandalism. And I think that's one of the reasons that you hear that. And it's interesting that in this country, for graph, you're still going to prison. And you're looking at around about 2.5 to 3 years. Whereas street art continues to grow every year.
Just talked about the difference between graffiti and street art, and it's really interesting. I'm curious of like how they decide like who gets the space or not, because they have been painted over.
4 of these, there are a lot more. So I hope by now, you've got a good idea of where this stuff's at, and if you're looking for it, there's so much more to take place. So if you're back in the area, it will probably be spent, looking at road signs and street poles and whatnot, and I apologise, but here's the back. So yeah, your man Jones.
So this guy's name is ROA. It's really sweet. He does some really cool animals across the city and across the world. I learned. I love them.
10 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday morning. Yeah. Borrow a cherry picker from some friends. It's on the other side of Shoreditch. Drove it through town and parked on the corner here. They all put on high visibility jackets. Closed every single road on this junction. And then one of them diverted traffic, the rest of them spent 3 hours, no permission whatsoever, putting that up. Seriously, it's remarkable in that if you look what you're meant to be there, most people won't question it. It's as easy as that. And yeah, he just goes by the name of simply Space Invader. And all over the world, again, all over London, you'll find to learn to use the spray can. When you're painting illegally, you're painting quickly. But now that they've got the time to really kind of hone those skills and they have the permission, they're doing some of the most incredible things. That's all done with just spray paint. And he actually freezes the spray paint. That's how he's getting that sort of soft, swirling effect that you're seeing. It was painted over 3 years ago, so again, it's been there a long time. And again, rather impressively, painted in just 1 day. Very simply, plasters a wall, sketches out the face, and then takes chisels and jackhammers to it and carves a portrait out. The thing is, as much as that's what he's known for, he does all sorts of other things as well. He does lots with like woods and metals and billboards, and I think most impressively of all, he's actually done a few pieces like this over the last couple of years, but rather than doing it with the chisels, he's doing it with explosives. He is blowing walls up into portraits, and there are videos of that online.
So we just got done with that tour. It's pretty sweet. Gives you a really interesting appreciation. Like you see all these like big buildings on one side, and on the other is like the smaller buildings. And he even said this, like that's what you sort of think of England when you first don't think of like just big sterile buildings. So it's interesting to see the difference and make that change. But I think someone just lost their purse, maybe? It's not good. Marie, we have to walk down this street all the way to the markets, and it's like ultra blinding. Something about bodies of water that I love. Bridge over there, we're on this cool bridge, there's another bridge. Trillion bridges across the Thames. I love how you can turn the corner and there's just some random awesome monastery building. Finally found a market area that I thought would be like a market area. There's tons of foods and different things. I'm happy. Got some French meat. It's like a prosciutto. It's really good, salty. Marie's about to get some Gouda from this place. We got this brownie. Marie got some too. And it's the best brownie I've ever seen in my life. And seen and tasted. It's dark chocolate brownie. It's soft, really rich dark chocolate. Best thing ever. So our dinner today will be this amazing meat. I forget what it's called, but it has walnuts in it. It's almost like a sausage prosciutto and some amazing Gouda. Have all the fun. Taking the train, we did this like 100 times so far. There is Westminster in the nighttime. It looks even cooler. We're about to go see Handel's Messiah in Westminster Abbey during Christmas time. It was an amazing concert, amazing. Can't ask for better, really.